Oscar-winning coach, which is not a combo that is often mixed together. He's got a great show with iHeart. You're an anti-turkey person, I'm told.
What's up, Clay? How are you?
A Turkist? Would that be an anti-Turkist? I don't even know what that would be called. You're anti-turkeys?
No, I'm not anti-turkey. In fact, I am quite pro-turkey.
Okay, so why would I say...
I am anti-turkey person.
I don't even understand what that means then.
Well, I know, but that's why I'm here to explain it to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, explain it to me.
All right, so remember when you came to Memphis and hung out with Rich Middlemas eons ago?
Oh, he's a great dude. Yeah,
all right,
and they made an Oscar-winning movie. Let me just say this, too, by the way.
Yeah.
If you are out, can you stream Undefeated anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, Netflix had it for 10 years. It's on Prime now.
Okay, it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
If you are out there listening to us right now, and you've got your family around, and you want to watch something wholesome, something that'll make you feel phenomenal, and you like sports, a high school football underdog story, Bill Courtney's the coach, Oscar-winning documentary, Inner City Memphis School, Undefeated is the name of that movie. It's on Amazon Prime. Type it in, watch it, trust me, you're going to love it. All right, so now let's get back to your turkey take.
Well, yeah, so before you were the Clay Travis, and you're just kind of Clay Travis, we're hanging out with Rich Middlemas, and you didn't even know you're on the set of an Oscar-winning documentary when you did it. But I remember, right? And so that was the last year at Manassas. But my first year at Manassas, when I showed up, which was 6 years previous to all that, there were 17 kids on the football team, and they'd won 4 games in 10 years. Their previous 10 years record was 4 wins and 95 losses. That's what we showed up to. And dude, we started coaching football hard. And now halfway through that first season, we were 3-3. And I think 3-3 is pretty average, but when you've won 4 games in 10 years, you think 3-3's, like I'm a fat redheaded version of Pete Carroll or somebody. So the kids were yes or no, sir, buying into the football, but in an area where an 18-year-old male is 3 times more likely to be dead or incarcerated by his 21st birthday than is to have a job or be in college, that's the reality of where we were. We also started coaching character and commitment, integrity, the dignity of hard work, leadership, teamwork, basic core values and fundamentals that last you long after playing football is over. And so halfway through that season, we're 3-3, and while the whole team was buying into the football, only half the team was buying into the important stuff. And that was driving me crazy. So I went to my guy, and I said, hey, man, what do I got to do to get that half the team to buy in the important stuff like your half the team? And he just kind of dismissively said, don't worry about it, coach. And I said, no, I am worried about it. And he said, I want to hurt your feelings. And I said, tell me why I can't get the whole team to buy in the important stuff like you're half the team. And he said, coach, you're trying to figure out if you're a turkey person or not. And Clay, I looked at him whimsically, I'm sure. And I said, what are you talking about, bro? And he said, coach, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, people roll into our neighborhoods and they give us gifts and hams and turkeys. And we take them because we ain't got none. But then they leave, and we never see them again. Makes you wonder if they're doing that because they really care about us, or they're doing that to make themselves feel good. And he looked me dead in the eyes, and he said, Coach, really, what the hell are you doing here, bro?
Man, that's a great and look, that's such a great metaphor in general. I love that.
It is, Clay. If you or your listeners or people that listen to my podcast or read my book or watch the movie, anybody, if you serve soup in soup kitchens or give gifts to the needy or serve turkeys to people that don't have them on Thanksgiving, it's a beautiful thing. The turkey person's story, metaphorically, is not to besmirch those wonderful behaviors. The question is, what's your motive? Are you motivated by the simple edification of someone that is not as blessed or fortunate as you? Or are you enjoying the backslaps? Do you enjoy how it elevates you? Is it a box you're checking that maybe looks good the next time you're up for promotion? What is the motive for serving, for giving? And if you're motivated by the simple edification of someone that's not as blessed as you, then you're going to be effective. If you're motivated by doing nice things, but the way they affect you positively, then you're a fraud. and a turkey person's a fraud. And I learned that very valuable lesson from a 17-year-old kid from the hood one day. And so with my podcast, An Army of Normal Folks, it's not just big enough to serve and to do great things in your community. You also have to do it for the right reasons. And so that's why the tagline of "Don't be a turkey person" and the billboard that's in Times Square right now has been tagged onto An Army of Normal Folks podcast right now, because at the holidays, it's a good time to talk about not only service, but why we serve and what true servant leadership is. And so turkeyperson.com and a normal, Army of Normal Folks, normalfolks.us kind of explores all that, Clay.
Yeah. It's such a fantastic thing. It's also about consistently being out there to help. A one-off is fine, but over time is when you can truly make a tremendous difference. And I want to talk about football for a sec, because you coached high school football. Why do you think so many boys in particular need football in their life? What did you see football do that maybe something else couldn't have done for young boys and young men in particular?
There's a difference in being hurt and being injured. If you're injured if you're injured, go to the hospital. If you're hurt, get your ass up. There is something about being a blocker for a guy that gets his name in the paper when he scores a touchdown, but you did the work. There's something about learning the value of that level of teamwork, of actually putting yourself in a painful position so that somebody else can get an accolade, and celebrating that. That level of service, that level of teamwork, you just don't learn it anywhere else as a young man as well as you do a football field. You don't learn the difference of being hurt and being injured. You don't learn that 11 people in concert can create a beautiful outcome, and although only one person is going to get the credit in the box score, we can all celebrate it together. I just don't think anything teaches a young man the basic fundamentals and values of teamwork and leadership and selflessness that football does. And coached properly, you get to win games, but hopefully after the game's over, you get to win at life, because you carry those life lessons with you into your family, your relationships, and your business and your community.
Yeah, I think that's really well said, Coach. And we're talking to Coach Bill Courtney. You can find his podcast. It's going to be in the Clay and Buck feed this week. And again, there is, if you're in New York right now, "Don't be a turkey person," a billboard up in Times Square right now telling this larger story, this metaphor. I see and I'm curious how you would respond to this. When I see football attacked, my 7th grade son played tackle football this year. There were tons of kids on his team with him. It made me like the school that he goes to more. Now, he goes to an all-boys school, but I think the lessons that come from sports and football in particular are very important for so many kids. When you see football attacked, do you see it in many ways, and certainly it's happened, as a proxy attack upon the idea of masculinity itself? Like, am I reading too much into it, or do you see that as being connected?
I first of all, I think there is an attack on both. I don't know that they're completely connected. And in all candor, Clay, football 10 years ago did itself a disservice and left itself open to attack, because as the science and data were revealing things to us about the game that we needed to coach better and change, by and large, we ignored it. And in doing so, we opened up an attack against ourselves. So we were our own worst enemy for a while. But proper techniques, proper coaching, better equipment, and better conversations about the value of football is starting to offset that attack a little bit. I don't really necessarily equate it to attack on masculinity, although I do think there is attack on masculinity. I think football's attack is a different paradigm.
Okay, so for people out there who don't want to be turkey people,
yeah,
what would you say? And again, I think that's such a great metaphor as we come up on Thanksgiving. What would you encourage my audience to do to avoid being a turkey person?
When you serve, listen, it's important that we serve. when you serve, whether it's at the Boys and Girls Club, serving turkeys, soup kitchens, and you tell your friends about it, and you post it on social, right? Those taglines that you tell people about should not be about what you have done, but about the need that is being served and the people in that need and what their needs are. If you serve and it's about you, the people that are taken from you will say yes or no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and thank you, because they want what you got. But the minute you walk away, they just stare darts through your back because you're a fraud, and they know it. And so how do you connect and how do you stay committed and how do you serve properly is you give all of the narrative about what you're doing to the very people you're trying to serve. The greatest leaders of our time, the greatest measure of the effectiveness of a leader is the actions of the followers. And the actions of followers are going to be really good if you give credit to the followers when you're interacting with them.
Bill Courtney does fantastic work. Don't be a turkey. It's in the podcast feed this week. Go sign up for Clay and Buck. You'll find him as well. The movie Undefeated. It's been out. Well, how many years has that been now?
I don't know. 10, something like that. The podcast's been out 5 months. The movie's 10 and the book 5 years. So it's kind of been an every 5-year thing for me, I guess.
Well, I'm telling you, if you haven't seen this movie, Amazon Prime, and you want to share something with your family during the holiday that everybody's going to feel better about, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas, whether it's New Year's, go watch this film, Oscar-winning documentary. Thank you for all the work you've done, and we will talk to you hopefully again soon.
Clay, thanks for having me, and if you end up in Memphis and need a ride from the airport, don't hesitate to call.
That is perfectly well said. I bet Bill Courtney, I guarantee you, you don't even know people. You just drive through the airport and just pick them up because you don't want to be a turkey guy, right?
No, that's right. Lisa and I ride through with the doors open screaming, anybody need a ride?
Wherever you need to go, Memphis Airport, Bill Courtney's got you. Fantastic stuff as always. That billboard is up in Times Square for everybody out there in the New York City area. Keep up the good work, my man.
Thanks, Clay.